All right, we're live. Let me click it again. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of ESA's Talking Story episode. We're here with your all-star coach, Jason Moats, and we're very excited tonight to bring another East Coast legend to join us to talk story, Mr. Todd Holland. Hey, Mr. Todd, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Welcome, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Yes, thanks for having me.
We're very excited to hear a lot of history that you have along the East Coast with surfing, and especially with the ESA and actually around the world surfing.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm going to let you two go, and I'll see you guys later.
All right. Thank you.
What's up, my man?
Another day in paradise.
I hear you. How's things been going with the situations that we've all been in? How are you and Lauren holding up over there?
We've been really slow. We closed down March 20th at my surf school, School of Surf, and Ron Jon Surf School. So we had to close both of those down, and we're just now reopening and taking special measures to try and keep everybody safe.
So I'm glad you brought that up. What are a couple of the measures that you're having to do outside of the norm?
Well, here at School of Surf, we're still going to do surf camps, but instead of full day camps, it's just going to be from 9 to 12, and nobody is allowed indoors into our surf school because that way no one's in a confined area. Okay. So we do all the waivers, payments, everything outside, safety on the beach, surf till 12, and then they get picked up and left. So nobody is inside close to one another.
Gotcha.
And instead of 16 kids, we're capping each camp to 12 kids.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it's a hit, but at least we're still able to teach kids and we make a little money and stay going.
Yeah, exactly. So up here, I guess next week, they're going to slide Jacksonville into phase 2, which kind of opens things up a little bit more. Is it the same down there where you guys are? Are they?
Yeah, well, they say they don't want any more than 5 people in groups on the beach.
Okay.
And those 5 need to social distance from other groups.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we're capping at 12, so each instructor can take their group of 4 to the beach.
Okay, right on. Very cool.
And kind of follow within our city guidelines.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we'll get into this more as we go on, but I was super excited to have you on. Me and you go way back. I mean, and the things that you've accomplished in the water and out of the water, it's been incredible to grow up and see all the things that you've done that have been, so incredible for East Coast surfing. And with that being said, I want to know kind of what time, what age did you start surfing? Where were you? And then lead us into, your first ESA contest or first surf contest, and just kind of lead us down the amateur path that you came from.
Yeah, I fortunately was really lucky to live where I lived when I started surfing.
You there?
My parents, we lived in Emerald Isle, North Carolina, and it was a really small town, 1 stoplight. And I kept going to the beach and said I wanted to surf. Well, a couple of the older guys, Nick and Tim Glennon, grabbed a board out of the junkyard, and Randy Hall fixed it up for $35.
There we go.
Then the day I got my board, the one surf shop in town, Salt Creek Surf Shop, Joe Trukowski closed the shop and took me surfing for my first time. Yeah. And after that, all the older guys in town just kind of took me under their wing. And my parents allowed me to go surf as long as I had one of them with me. Like all the Haverleys, the Farringtons, the Brownlows, one time, I think it was Ricky Farrington told my mom the waves were really good to go check me out at school and drug me out by the pier, holding on to the leash. So, yeah, that was like my first 2 years surfing up there. And that's where I surfed my very first contest in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. And there was only a few of us kids surfing at that age up there then. So,
Who were some of the kids that you were surfing with up there?
mainly like, well, I think Jimmy Farrington, my brother, and maybe a couple other kids.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we were the youngest.
Yeah.
And it was really cool because like all the older surfers looked out for us. Took us surfing. They even like one time Roy, Carl Haverly, Joe Jolly, and packed me and my brother up and took us camping to Myrtle Beach for a surf contest. Which, you know, probably 9 years old, that's pretty cool for those older guys to do.
At 48 years old, that's really cool, man. That's awesome. So when what was your first Easterns that you surfed in?
I think I got invited my first year surfing, but kind of decided I wasn't ready for it yet. And then, I think I went my second year.
Second year?
I got invited. Yep.
And that was that 82 that you went? Or
No,
was
that would have probably been, I think maybe 80.
80? Okay.
Wait a minute. No, 70. Probably 70, 79, 80.
Okay. Gotcha. And then, so when did things start clicking for you? Because I know, the first time I met you was in 82, and you were dominating. I mean, it was impressive. So when did things start really clicking in for you?
It was probably right around that time, I think in 82, because I've gone to nationals in California for NSSA, and I got sixth in the juniors there, which at that time was 16 and under, and I was 12.
Right.
And me and Jeff Booth were the two youngest guys that year to ever get selected for the national team, if I remember correctly. And then I went to Easterns and won that. So I had to make a choice between ESA or NSSA, or ESA All-Star or NSSA national team. But with the national team, I got Ian Cairns and BT coaching me. So
yeah, that's awesome, man.
But I still competed in all the ESA contests at home and everything.
Yeah. So I remember there's Todd and his mom, Miss Carol, and that was 82 when you won boys, correct?
Yeah. Actually, I still got the trophy. It's my mom was the most awesome surf mom you could ever imagine. When I swing, I was dabbling in other sports, and instantly I was hooked. I dropped everything, and all I wanted to do was go surfing. So, I surfed every single day, just about, I possibly could. And my mom was always there, so supportive, from running events, helping out tabulating, to her travel agency, which God knows who sent how many surfers around the world. And she was always working, helping other pros before me with their travel, and just the ultimate surf mom.
Yeah, absolutely. So in 82, that was when I met you. And, we had been in Hatteras for Easterns, and I was in Mini Hunes that year, and you were in boys. And I remember us watching your heats, and it's the first time I'd ever even heard of you. At that time, Sean Madison was like the big name, and he was winning all the boys division. When he was in Mini Hunes, he was winning that and everything. And then he got the boys, and he was winning that, winning everything in boys. And I'll never forget, you beat him in the semifinal. But not only did you beat him, but he didn't even make the final. And it was like, to us, that we were like, whoa, it was like, the king has been defeated, you know, and then you actually went on to win. And I remember it because, man, you guys, y'all, you know, Chris Wooten, Sean Slater, that was the top 3 that year. And I remember it so vividly because you 3 guys, I mean, y'all each just really, you know, had an effect on me with your surfing, and not only your surfing, but just how awesome you guys were to us little kids. And I've got a story for you real quick. In that year in 82, it was a northeaster when we first got there. And I went walking down. My friends had already gone surfing. Jason Hoy, Matt Albert, and these guys, they had already taken off. Chris Wooten, they all paddled out. And I was the youngest one on the trip at 10. And I remember walking down the beach just going, oh, my God, I got to paddle out in this stuff. And you were sitting in the sand. And when I went walking by, you were like, hey, come here. And I'm like, oh, my God, that's that guy. He's been killing it. That's Todd, you know. I'm like, oh, my God. So I go over there to you, and you're like, hey, look, see right here? This is a run out. This is a rip current, and we can paddle out right here, and we'll get right out. And I remember going, you know, I didn't know what we would just get in the water and start paddling. We had no clue of like what to look for or anything. And I remember you paddled out first, and I went right behind you. And sure enough, man, I think, you know, I might have had to go under, because I couldn't even duck dive back then. You could. But I remember like I had 2 waves that I might have did the turtle dive, and I came up and I made it out, and I was just like, oh my gosh. But that resonates. I teach kids that method today, you know, and it goes all the way back to you in 82 helping me out, man. So I appreciate it, Todd. Absolutely. It was cool.
Yeah.
But you know, that year, man, it was, I remember the final, you and Sean Slater and Wooten, y'all were the top 3. And I remember you guys you were putting on a show, and then,
I think that was the year Charlie Kuhn won ESA and the U.S. championships, and then went professional on the circuit.
Yep. So at that time, you win your first East Coast championship. You know, who were you just mentioned Charlie Kuhn. Who were some of your UPS just came. Thanks, UPS. Who were some of your heroes back then that you started looking at and going, okay, you know, I need to watch this guy?
Well, I pretty much try to watch everybody.
Yeah.
But you know, we had just moved to Florida, and it was really cool. Claudia Codgen actually started making me some boards. He'd actually pick me up and take me surfing. And he really helped me out a lot back then. He'd give me some tips and everything. And then that's when we moved on. I'd probably been on Catri's team for about a year. And that's right after that's when my first trip to Hawaii that December. And I was 13 years old, and then Ian and PT paddled me out at 8 to 10 foot sunset.
Nice. Welcome to the North Shore.
I was hiding in the channel, and a big West Peak came in, and I swear I still hear them both screaming at me to go.
Oh God.
I had to go.
Yeah. Good.
Like Jimbo Gaskins, Crystal Rover.
Oh yeah.
They kind of escorted. They were both on the national team and escorted me to Hawaii that year.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So Jimbo actually, one time we pulled up at Haleiwa, and Ian and PT said, "You don't have to go out. It's pretty big." And Jimbo goes, "No, you're going." So I had to paddle out.
Yeah, it's a little different now. You know, we take these kids over there every winter, and you know, the ones that want to go, we get them with Tamayo Perry, and we're like, okay, here you go. You know, but then the ones that don't want to, we're like, look, no shame. I'll tell them straight up, I'm not going out there. So you're not hurting my feelings if you don't want to go out there. No, but that's awesome, man. And so after 82, 83, I remember vividly, your surfing just went to another level. I remember they had the world contest in Huntington Beach, the world amateur contest in Huntington Beach, and you placed third in juniors. And when I tell you people out there, he plays third in juniors. I think Damian Hardman won, and a guy named Doug Silva, who at the time was, I mean, just incredible surfer, got second.
Second.
Oh, Jeff got second. Okay,
yeah.
Jeff Booth got second.
They did three contests for points, and that made the final standings. But then they did like a grand championship event, which you didn't get any points for.
Mm-hmm.
And I made the finals of that with Damian Hardman, and I got second to Damian in that.
Jeez, man, that's incredible. And
15. I think it was 15. Yeah, I think it was 15 when I did that.
Yeah. And so what was the junior, because they only had juniors, men's, and women's, if I recall, in those contests. So what was the junior age group back then? Remember?
I think it might have been either 16 or 18.
Okay.
But like some of our team, like I think Doug Silva wasn't old enough to be in the men's, but they would put him in as a men's division. So they kind of divided us up. You could surf up a division if you wanted. So they just kind of, whoever made the team, they divided it up to where our PT was our coach. So where he thought everybody should be.
Yeah, because you and Silva are the same age, aren't you?
I think so.
Yeah. So he was like
a little bit older than me.
A little bit older. Okay. Got it. Yeah. So, tell me about that experience, man. How was it being thrown in to that kind of contest at that young of an age?
Well, it was awesome. I probably would have lost a lot earlier if it wasn't for PT. He ran coaching practices on the beach before the event. He gave us a whole coaching manual, and he was just an absolute great coach. The camaraderie on that team was really good. And actually, Bill Johnson was the other East Coaster on that team.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, I just, I was just very focused. And at that point in time, I knew I wanted to be a professional surfer. So everything I did went towards beating that.
Mm. Very cool. So then after 84, what was next for you?
Just a lot of surfing training, going to Hawaii over Christmas, pretty much from around 13 till whenever I was professional. I was in Hawaii for Christmas with the national team.
Yeah.
So, I had a lot of great stories. It was amazing what Ian and PT did for everybody. I mean, I wouldn't want to take 25 kids to South Africa.
Yeah, no doubt.
or Toto Santos, or, took us Cabo San Lucas training over the summers.
Yeah.
And, that's what really pushed me, And a couple times a year, they would come back here and they would take me, go surfing with me or do a coaching sessions with me. And then basically leave me what to work on. And I learned a lot because I remember every day I would come home and watch 2 surf videos. One was of Tom Carroll and one was of Tom Kern. And then I'd go out and be trying to mimic it all.
Yeah.
Because I always wanted Tom Carroll's power and Kern's style.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt. So just to take us back to, and we were talking earlier about Todd's mom, Miss Carroll. She actually ran NSSA for all of Florida. And back in those days when we were all young and doing NSSA and ESA, it was just, NSSA was one district.
The state of Florida.
It was all Florida. Yeah. So, we had contests here in Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Cocoa, Melbourne. I mean, all over the place. We had events. What year was it that your mom actually took it over?
Not really sure.
Yeah. I'm thinking for some reason like 85, 86.
Yeah, because Jimbo Gaskins was running it, and
Right.
I think he was kind of getting older, having a career change, and they needed someone to run it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Todd's mom stepped in, and then she ran it for a long time. I mean, I don't know exactly how long, but I mean, I remember, even after you had already turned pro and stuff, if I remember right, she was still running them.
Running, I believe so, NSA, and then she went on to run some pro events like the OP East, the Wave Wizard.
Oh yeah, yep.
The Tropex East Coast ASP little tour.
Yep. I remember that, man. She was really, I see where you get, your niceness from, because your mom, she was so good to all of us little rats that she probably really wanted to slap us, get away from me. She was always so patient and kind. So.
Yeah, I was really, really fortunate with my parents. Like, my dad worked in the scallop industry. He worked his butt off, so that, once I got old enough to get a job, I got a job. And we did fundraiser events for my travel. But, if I came up short, my dad always made sure that both my parents made sure I got there.
Yeah,
where I needed to be.
Yeah, you had a lot of family support, man. It's awesome. Huge, that's a huge help without a doubt. And having, they were, especially your mom, especially was so involved that she ran an organization. I mean, that's huge, dude. That's going above and beyond without a doubt, man. So I know you went to the World Contest in '86. Things didn't go quite your way. You get back, and was it 87, 88 you went pro?
87. I actually, February of 87, my senior year, I flew out to California and signed my professional contract with OP. And my goal was, my parents wouldn't let me do homeschool, so I had to finish high school before I could go.
Yeah.
And I missed the first leg of the circuit and got started late. And 3 days after I graduated high school, Charlie Kuhn let me travel with him to South Africa. And my first year, I traveled most of the year with Charlie. He kind of like showed me the ropes a bit and everything, and really helped me out a lot. And
very cool.
But
so were you riding at that time where you were, I know Rich Price and yourself you were riding natural arts for years and years and years, man. Yeah. When did you start riding for Richard? And then were you still riding into your pro ranks?
Actually, I was riding for natural arts in the beginning. Probably after Claudia, I was riding Claudia Codgen's boards, or right after the Katri team. I'm sorry. I started riding for natural art. And Bob Roman actually used to shape my board. And he was really nice. He really worked hard on my boards, helped me out. And then I went on to the Rich Price boards. I think Bob quit shaping. So yeah, then I was with them all the way until my first year on the pro circuit. And most of my first year on the pro circuit, I was still riding for him. But being out and traveling around, it's just like a lot of the guys, they got to get boards made, quickly where they're at. And I tried a few different boards. I tried some Almericks that worked really good. I tried a Rusty. Rusty made me a board. Gary Linden made me, when I asked him, he made me 3 boards. And they all worked really, really good. And Gary was very eager to work with me. And so I ended up surfing for Gary for a long time. And it was nice. I had a lot of support from the East Coast. That was probably about the time I'd met Jim and April from Wellbone Surf Shop, and they started sponsoring me. Yeah,
that's awesome.
So it was a good first year.
So that first year you missed the first few events. What did you end up? What was your ranking after that year?
I actually finished 27th, and I got Rookie of the Year.
It's incredible, bro. That's amazing.
And I think it might have been either that year or the year after that. I remember I was in Western Australia, and I went over there early because we had a break to surf Margaret River. And I kept looking across from Margaret, seeing this wave break, and I'm just spitting barrels. And I kept asking everybody, and they're like, no one surfs out there. Oh yeah, Ian and I think Jeff Hackman had tried to surf it a long time ago. And I just kept wanting to go out. I wanted to go out there. I just didn't want to go out alone. And I'd lost out in the cart at the contest, and I'm walking through the car park, and Wes Lane goes, "Hey, you want to go surf that?" And then so we were like the first two guys that paddled out and really surfed it. And it was like just him and me, 3 hours, just getting stand-ups, spitting out barrels.
Good grief, man.
That was like a memorable point at that point in time.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, that was, and we're talking about the early days of the box. Like he's saying, nobody was surfing at that time. Now you see all kinds of incredible photos of guys pulling into that place. But yeah, that's amazing. Absolutely. That's incredible. So, so after that first year, you go into your second year. Oh, and I want to touch on that too. As you're talking about Wes and you surfing that place, it doesn't surprise me at all, Todd, because what you were able to do, like in waves of consequence, especially at that time. I mean, now you got guys, surfing Nazareth and doing just out of their mind things on waves.
Yeah.
At that time, the box was a heavy wave. When you would go to Hawaii, you'd see clips of you at sunset pulling in at backdoor. Waimea. I remember seeing some footage of you, as a younger kid, seeing some stuff of you at Waimea that on waves that you're going, this guy's from Cocoa Beach. It's like, what? So what got you into surf? What spurred you to start getting interested in waves like that?
Well, one of the things was like Ian, my coach, he always said, he goes, well, when you go to Hawaii, just paddle out a big day at sunset and just go for it until you wipe out in the pit, and then you come up, you survive the worst.
Yeah.
So then you can handle it.
Yeah.
But I did a ton of physical training, and I was pretty confident in my personal physical conditions. I mean, but you do pay the price. The next year at the box, I paddled out and went over the falls and snapped a bone in my back.
Oh,
and so that took a little while to heal. But it's part of it. I wanted to show East Coast surfers could surf big waves.
Yeah.
That was a goal of mine.
Yeah. Well, you definitely did that. I remember, oh yeah. Now, is that Sunset Beach in this picture right here, Todd?
Probably either Sunset or backdoor or off the wall. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from that photo. Insane shot, though.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a sunset wave. But.
Yeah, it's got kind of a weirdness to it that looks like sunset. Right on. So, I remember, I know we're going to get into all the other things you did too, but I remember, I want to say, I can't remember 88 maybe. I think it was 88, Pipe Masters. I could be wrong on my date. You'll tell me here in a second. Tom Carroll.
Billabong contest.
Billabong Pipe Masters.
Yeah.
Todd comes up against Tom Carroll in a heat where if Tom Carroll, if I remember right, Tom Carroll wins this heat, he wins the world title.
Yeah.
And Todd beat him, pulling into crazy backdoor pits.
Yeah, on technicality. That's where I had probably one of my scariest moments surfing that morning in a warm-up. I thought I saw a backdoor wave, and I got it, and I made it. I went up to the top to see if there were any sets coming, and I thought I could make it back out. Well, I got to the point where the wave was going to break right in front of me, but I wasn't getting my board up through it. So I had to just rip my leash off and sprint. Swimming as hard as I could under, and just getting under them and popping back out. And ended up being pop out in the lineup with no board and have to swim in. So I was, that was a morning that I woke up and it felt like you could feel the ground shaking from the waves, and you just kind of, wow, okay, I got to go surf that. So that was my goal, is to not back down in that contest. Wow. And unfortunately for Tom, he would have beat me, but they caught a priority interference call on him. And I was going right, and he started paddling for it. And I was like, dang, well, if he wants it that bad, I'm going to look left. And I accidentally faded to the left and then went back right and pulled up into it and got clobbered. But at that time, the paddling interference rules were a lot stricter and everything.
Gotcha. Well, as an East Coaster, I don't care if it had a technicality or not, dude. It was a monumental moment for us, man. We were stoked for you.
Yeah.
Love Tom Carroll to death, man. But you're our boy, dude. You're in the heat. I mean, the pipe master.
Oh yeah. Like I say, he was one of the ones I watched videos of and tried to mimic some of his surfing and everything that I always looked up to. Like, wow.
Yeah. How were those guys when you got on tour? How was it, being thrown in the mix with your heroes like that?
Pretty amazing. I'll never forget my first, I think it was my first year on the circuit. It was Bells Beach, and Sean Thompson was probably my all-time hero. Yeah. Because even from when I was a little kid, first started surfing and do signings at the shops. I went every time until I was professional, pretty much. And he would remember me. And it was then I drew him in the quarterfinals of Bells Beach in perfect, like 3 to 5 foot bowls.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was just like, wow, here I am at Bells Beach about to paddle out against the man. So were they cool to you? I mean, the professional surfing has changed so much. A lot of the guys, it's like, it's the dream tour. It seems like everybody nowadays are good buddies for the most part. You see some little things here and there, but back in those days, Gary Elkerton, Tom Carroll, Martin Potter. I mean, were they cool to you for the most part, or did you have some run-ins with them, or tell us about that? Most of the guys, I really didn't have many run-ins with anybody. Most of the guys were always really cool. Mm-hmm. Sean even had given me some pointers here or there. Same thing, Tom Kern. It was everybody was. It was dead serious when you hit the water.
Right. Yeah.
But on the most part, there wasn't really too much drama.
No, not a lot.
There'd be some times if one of us would get mad at the other one, but that's competition. That's competition.
Yeah. Right on. So back in those days, and I want to add too, you signed the contract. This is what you meant, especially to, my crew here in North Florida. I had a good friend, Justin Butts, that was like my little buddy. We went everywhere together. We were the 2 youngest kids on Hickson Surf Shop back then. You turned pro, signed with OP, and they came out with the Hydrolite shorts. Okay. Now, Let me tell you something. Because of that, because you wore those shorts, me and Justin went out and bought those shorts, dude. We were sporting Hydrolites. Todd Holland's wearing them and did at the time too. I know I was riding a Natural Art, and then and I think Justin might have been riding one too. But man, that's the that's the effect that you had on us young guys, man. Here, especially here in North Florida. I mean, we were big fans, and still am. But I mean, I'm just letting you know, we wore the shorts for you, Todd.
All right.
So how was it being on a team? Like, I know a lot of the companies now, they're sponsored guys that are on tour. They kind of, they kind of travel as a pack. Did you ever do much traveling with Tom, since you guys were both OP guys?
No. We did surf together a bit, sometimes like in Hawaii and everything. I think he, like one year I was there by myself, and he had his family and had me over for Thanksgiving dinner. And, and a couple times I was in Santa Barbara, he would let me train with him and go surf with him. Him and Kim Maring, she was on the team.
Oh, yeah, she's OP too, yep.
Yeah. And then Kong. Kong was on the team for a while too.
Well, back when he was Kong.
Yeah, but pretty much, everybody would travel with like one partner.
Wow.
Just see everybody around.
So, 1990, they have the OP Pro back in the day. For people watching that might not know, the OP Pro was the biggest pro contest in the United States by far. I mean, you see what the U.S. Open is now, and it was that event, that it is today. And I want to say even more popular. I mean, it seemed like back in those late 80s, early 90s, that OP Pro was probably the biggest event in the world at that time. And tell us about 1990.
Well, I mean, my first time I surfed the OP Pro was when I was 16. And I had to surf through the pre-trials, the trials, and then I made the second round of the main event and lost to Barton Lynch. But it was definitely a goal of mine to win that event. And, that was one of the highlights of my career.
Wow.
Winning that, and then winning the Coke and the Pepsi were probably like the three biggest events I won.
Mm-hmm.
And,
so were those your
winning?
Go ahead.
Huh?
Were those your championship tour wins? You had 3 wins.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember I was like a bag walking down for the final and everything. That was probably one of the most crowded beaches I'd in front of.
Yeah.
That year.
It was a special, it was a special year for you. And then at the same time, Frida Zamba won the women's, and then Danny Malhado won the OP Junior, and it was like, the East Coast had just dominated.
Yeah.
that
was cool to see 3 East Coasters up on the podium together. That was definitely a special experience.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It was amazing as a fan, especially growing up with all you guys, and to see y'all do that was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, because like about my second and third year, fourth year in Hawaii, I shared a house with Frida and Flea together.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we split a house, so we knew each other and everything. To see each other to be up there together, it was really cool.
Yeah, I don't think in fact, I don't think it's. Well, I know it hadn't happened since. I mean, that was quite the year, without a doubt. I mean, geez, have all 3 of you guys win that thing. It's the biggest event of the year. So, what was what did you get ranked? What was your highest ranking on the CT?
8th in the world.
8th in the world. And then how many years were you on the world tour?
Roughly from 87 to 97.
It's a 10-year career. That's incredible.
Either 9 or 10. I mean, I was still competing in ASP events at least in 97, but maybe not that many.
And then and then you brought up the Coke. I'm going to definitely touch on this. You brought up the Coke win in Australia, and that was the beginning of the tour that year, right? Didn't they start in Australia at that time?
Yeah.
And then take us through those first two events.
I think it was I think you did Mark. I know Bell's and the Coke,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they might have had one in Kira. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I was for the Coke. I was very intent because I think it was 2 years before I got second, and it was really, really close.
Yeah.
And so when it came down to that, I just had some new board designs that Greg Lohr had a hand in designing from one of Bill Hartley's boards that I rode and liked. And I take it back to London and do a similar version of it and everything. So I'd just gotten some new boards. I was getting used to them. They were working really good. And I felt super good. And everything came together, and I ended up winning. And that's the biggest prize money event I'd ever won.
That's amazing. And didn't you win back to back? Did you go back to back, or was there a contest in between, or how did that work out? Because I remember you won another one too.
The following week, the Pepsi had an invitation down in Port Campbell, and it was like a skins event where, and it was one of the wildest contests I'd surfed because there was a huge cliff, and there was several different breaks and parts of a reef that was out there. Mm-hmm. And you were allowed 3 waves, and the wave that you wanted to count, you had to raise your hand. So you had this huge, long, 3 blocks of area that they could see you from the cliffs, and you could go and pick out whatever area you wanted to surf. So you might, in the finals, Shane Horan was in the finals against me, and he surfed completely to the right, and I went all the way down to the left where there was this other little right break. So we never even saw each other, and they'd take you out on a dinghy.
Oh, wow. So that was a specialty event that year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the only year they ran it.
Okay.
But yeah, I won, and that was probably my second highest winningest prize money event because, like I say, you got so much money every time you went through advanced, and it was for the top 16.
Very cool. And Lauren's on here, and she wants me to ask you, Todd's wife, Lauren, she said, did you ever hold number 1?
For about 2 months, I think.
Yeah.
The year I won the Coke.
That's so sick, man. That is sick. Well, and back then too, a lot of people might not know this, but back then, if the ASP was the present day CT, you guys had 22 events or something. I mean, it was crazy how many events there was.
Yeah, I think my first year on the circuit, I surfed something like 26 or 28 events.
Jeez. That's some serious travel, man. Good grief.
Yeah. Yeah, we went through, because I remember Charlie had gone home, and me, Richie, and Sonny showed up at France, and we were too young to rent a car. They were supposed to let me rent a car because I applied and got a Hertz credit card, and they wouldn't. And we had to talk Bryce Ellis from Australia, ended up renting the car and putting it in his name for us.
That's amazing.
So we can make it to all the events over there.
So when you're talking about Richie and Sonny, you're talking about Richie Collins and Sonny Garcia?
Yeah.
Dude, that's incredible, man. Heroes, no doubt. That's awesome. That is awesome. So was that the year that you ended up finishing 8th in the world? No,
that was my first year when I finished 27.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Because we were only 18.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. What about the year that you were temporarily, or for 2 months, number 1 in the world? What did you end up that year?
What's that again?
The year that you won the Coke and you held the number 1 ranking for a little bit. What did you end up that year?
I think like 15th or something. I
So-
had I started out really strong, and then I think I just kind of lost my focus through it.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, with all those events, I mean, good grief, talk about, I mean, I can't imagine what it would take to, you're talking about 26 events and that kind of, that the talent that you're surfing against. I mean, that's an incredible feat to be able to, end up number one in the world after, I mean, good grief, man, that's incredible. So many events. We got there's a good question on here from Jesse Anthony Spooner. He wants to know, he says, hey, Todd, could you talk about your board designs back then, those flat, wide tail boards you would have seemed to come full circle? Oh, so he's asking about your boards back, he's basically saying he wants you to talk about the boards that you were riding that were, back in the early days and how that's kind of come back around as far as dimensions and stuff today.
Yeah, most definitely. The surfboards back then, they were a lot thicker. Mm-hmm. Like the board I rode in '84, I still got it, and it's really funny because you look at that thing and then look at a board nowadays, and it's like 2/3 of the thickness of what that board was. Board designs come a long ways, and but most definitely, even when I was shaping, I went back to, and I was shaping my own boards. I went back to a flatter rocker, and I actually went back to the mid channels, mm-hmm. and a wider nose and tail.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for our, if you're living back on the East Coast, especially in Florida, those boards are. In fact, I think as a kid, I spent too much time trying to ride what everyone else was, instead of, especially through that '90s era, and instead of riding what works, especially for our type waves. And it's kind of cool because I rode some Natural Arts by Rich Price, back in the Hickson's days, and they were thick, wide tail boards, and they worked so good. And then now, if you look kind of what I'm riding now, it's very, there's changes in rockers and stuff like that, but the basic outline of the board hasn't changed that much at all because it's you need that out here.
Yeah, you definitely need the flatness and width, and unless we get a hurricane swell.
Yeah. Yeah. Tom Dugan, who we're all a huge fan of, he's got a question for you. He said, you had me on the nose of your boards. Why?
Well, because it was, I'd watched Talladega Nights and I didn't have any sponsors. Yeah. So I thought it'd be funny to put me on the top of my board because I was riding my own shaped board with no sponsors.
Yeah. Well, and I remember seeing photos of you riding that board. I think you said earlier it was maybe a Sean Slater, the Slater event or something that you won, and you're riding that board. And I remember there's more. It fits so good. Talladega Nights is a movie about racing cars. Anybody that knows Todd Holland knows he loves mud trucks. I mean, it fit in so many different ways, man. It was very cool. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Are you still enjoying, doing trucks or building trucks or anything like that? Still mud racing or anything?
No, I went through a time where I wasn't surfing a lot and I had to work a lot. And so I ended up giving it all up. Hopefully one day, maybe down the road, I can have enough money and build maybe another streetcar or something. Yeah. And so that's what my wife took me when I met Lauren. She got me out of all that and working just a regular job. And we had the idea to start our own surf school. Yeah. And she used her education for being a teacher, going to school for a teacher to help build a curriculum and everything for our camp. And, she just kind of changed my life for a great way.
Yeah.
And we work together, play together, surf together. And we actually met surfing New Smyrna.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and his wife, Lauren, is a past East Coast champion herself. I want to say it was, if I remember right, 2006. I think it might have been 2006 she won. So there's a lot of ripping going on in the Holland family. So, hey, we got another question on here. Kylie Kaiser, she lives up in, I believe she's in New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken. She said, "What's your favorite contest that you competed in while on tour?"
My favorite contest, probably. I would look forward to pipe. I always wanted to do better than I did there.
Yeah.
That's one of the ones I really would focus on and want to win.
Mm-hmm.
One of the favorite ones I got to go to was one of the first events in Tropu.
Mm.
It was a QS event at the time, but we went and it was pretty cool. I got to pat one. I actually helped the camp people put an engine on their boat. So they gave me a little 2-man outrigger. And I paddled out to the outer reef and found this perfect little right and surfed it for like 2 hours by myself, just getting stand-up barrels.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. See, so that engine work helped you.
Yeah. When I was done, they go, "What do you want?" I go, "I want that 2-man outrigger." Yeah. For the week. Okay, take it.
That's
yeah.
Oh my gosh. So what year did you kind of officially retire from the world tour? When was that?
Probably, like I said, 97 or 98 is when I pretty much gave up, let it go. And I'd still compete in some events around here or maybe in an event California, but it wasn't my goal. I was back, went back and I was working for my mom for a while at her travel agent.
Yeah. And I remember everyone used you guys, back in the day, back then when we travel places, we used, everyone used a travel agent, especially if you're going on a surf trip. And the one, you guys had an awesome one. I know, Mitch Kaufman, he actually lives in the house right behind me now. And, I know that he went on several trips with, for your mom, and they did a bunch of videoing and stuff like that at different spots. But is she still, what's your mom doing now? Is she still involved in any of that?
Since we took over the Ron Jon Surf School, my mom running businesses all of her life and everything, we were able to cut her back and let her handle all of our finances and books and stuff. So she works for us now, and she gets to work out of home. Yeah. And doesn't have to be standing on her feet. So pretty much retired and taking it easy.
That's awesome, man. Very cool.
Yeah.
So what's going on now with you? I mean, tell me about your surf school, everything because I know you and Lauren have built an incredible program down there. Tell us all about what you got going on now.
Well, right after we got married in July, and then like the following February, we were plugging along, both working places, and we were teaching lessons at 2 different places, and we just said, why are we doing this? We thought of ways to make it better and use my experience for coaching, and teaching kids. Like when the kids come in normally when our kids come into a surf camp, it's 9 to 3. And the first day is all about safety and standing up. The second day we're talking about turning, how to get out through the waves a little better depending on the swell. We go over a lot of etiquette. surfing etiquette about if someone's riding towards you, which way to paddle,
Yeah.
who has the right of way, not the wave hog like the ball hog. And then we teach them about surf forecasting, and we do a whole lesson on board design. So each day they get a classroom lesson. Hopefully at the end of the week, they can take enough, learn enough to be able to really go out and try to start surfing on their own or with a buddy.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. And so how was it when, cause you've had, School of Surf for many years. How long have you, when did you,
10th year.
10 years?
Yeah. This is our 10th year.
And then when did you get involved with Ron Jon?
Just about a year and a half ago.
Awesome.
And it worked out because towards the end of my career, they were one of my big sponsors that kept me on the circuit. And Lauren's still on the team.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a cool opportunity. Craig Carroll ran it for years, and he was retiring. And he walked in one day and said, "I think this would work. I'm gonna do it." And we got a hold of him, and it's just been a blessing because it really opened up a lot of opportunities for us. Right. And we got a great staff, and it made it so I could move my son up to be my son Calvin to be the office manager here at School of Surf. So I'm in and out, working wherever I'm needed at both places, and just trying to do the best we can with it.
Yeah.
Teach the kids the most we can.
Yeah. Speaking of Calvin, I get to see him probably more than I get to see you, because he comes up here to Jacksonville. Him and my son kind of buddy around here and there, and that same group of kids. But love your son, man. Calvin's an awesome kid. And then Calvin's 26, if I'm not mistaken, and then you've got a daughter, Shaylee.
Yep.
And how old is she?
20 years old.
20 years old.
Yeah.
Wow, man, that's amazing. That is awesome. And
she's here in Cocoa Beach as well.
Yeah. Does she help you out with the surf school at all?
She helped with the summer camps for a couple of weeks last summer, but she had also had another job.
Very cool. Yep. There's an early picture of her. That's a great shot, dude.
Yeah. I used to tandem surf with her.
Yeah.
There, I came up to the Wave Masters.
Oh yeah, Wave Masters. You guys won, didn't you? Yeah.
I bumped the board from Mitch.
Yeah. I love it. Very cool. Here you go. We got Mac Heckley chimed in. He said, "Congrats, Todd, on an amazing surfing career. We'd love to hear about what your mindset was going into your first Pipe Masters event. You put on many amazing performances at Pipe."
That was a very, very interesting event because obviously you know how crowded Pipe is, mm-hmm. and how hard it is to get out there and practice and actually catch waves. So at that time, I was practicing when it was at its worst. And because when I got to Hawaii, I didn't have any points from the previous year. So like my first year on the circuit, when I first started, I had to start from round one of the trials at every contest. And when it comes to Hawaii, there's so many people wanting to surf. They have a local trials, then an international trials. And I made it through the local trials. Then I made it through the international trials. And I hadn't had much experience. So it was just basically paddle out, throw myself over the ledge and go for it. And then I finally made the main event. And I still remember it. My first main event heat at Pipe was Michael Ho, Terry Day, and Marvin Foster.
Oh, wow. Goodness, dude.
I came close to making it, but I got third. I didn't make it.
Yeah. So are you doing any? I know you have the surf school and stuff, but you also coach some up and coming rippers as well. You're doing some advanced contest coaching as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I coach a couple kids. Logan Hofstetter, he's actually going to Huntington High now and training out there as well.
Yeah.
I work with him when he comes back here. Then I also work with a young girl. She actually came to surf camp about around three and a half years ago, little Kylie. And now she just won like the Southeast Regionals for her division and second in the division above it.
Yeah, Kylie Pulicini is an amazing young surfer. And, if you see the comments over here, she loves you to death, dude. she's
one of the most surf-stoked kids you'll ever meet. So, yeah, it's a pleasure that I really enjoy working with both of them. So that's pretty much the only kids I'm working with now. One other kid I worked with until she got up to the national team ranks was Rachel Presti.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
When she first came, she came on a foam board to summer camp too.
Wow.
And then I started working with her like once a week until she made it up to the national level.
Yeah, and now she's one of those girls that's in the mix to qualify. I mean, Rachel Presti has come in an incredible way. I mean, she is an amazing surfer. So I mean, that's very cool. We got some photos because I know we want to do a little tour through your facility that you're at right now. But we've got some photos that Tom Dugan and Mez from Eastern Surf Mag have given us. Kind of take us through these photos, man.
That's my very first surfboard. Couple guys, Nick and Tim Glennon, from what I was told, got it out of a junkyard. It was a 6-foot Steve Walden Diamond Tail. And Randy Hall from North Carolina up there was the ding repair guy and fixed it up for $35.
Wow. Here we go. So there's Todd on the far right. I'm not sure what event this is, though.
I don't know what that one's from.
They got Kelly in the front. Who you recognize any of these other guys?
I'm having a hard time seeing it.
Yeah, that's a hard one for me too, man. Old eyes, dude. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, don't do that anymore.
That's sick, man. There you go. You're still doing that, though.
Yeah, I think that might be from the Galapagos trip with, I think it was with Mitch and Charlie Kuhn.
Oh, very cool.
Same thing with that one.
Yeah. Now, I remember Mitch had, when he had his Radical Side show, I remember him doing a show that was you guys, here at the Galapagos. I remember that. Mm-hmm. There we go. Natural art.
Yep. That would have been my early years on this, probably somewhere on my first year on the circuit.
Yeah.
I have no idea where.
Great shot.
Yeah, I used to try to do airs, but
I've seen it.
Very, very successful, but I did land a few. And that one before, that was like once I started surfing and learned to turn, I used to watch Buddy Pelletier and see him surf every once in a while, and I watched him do layback. So that was one of the first maneuvers I learned to do.
See, the layback came before backside tubes. We didn't, I don't even remember when the Pig Dog version came out, but if you wanted to get tubed backside when we were kids, you did a layback. That's how you got barreled backside. Very cool. There you go.
Yeah, that was the 86 World Amateur Championships, but like that event didn't work out for me too well.
Gotcha. Oh, there we go. Sebastian.
Yeah. I don't remember that day, but dang, that looked like a fun day.
That does look like a fun day. Good grief. The Rebel.
Yeah. Actually, Scott Bouchard did all those airbrush.
Oh, that's awesome.
3 or 4 boards like that, and they were going through Greg Lohr's factory, and Scott airbrushed them all.
Now, hey, just real quick, the year that you won the coat contest, weren't you riding a board with that airbrush on it?
No. I rode those boards for a little bit, but
not there though.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one. That's when he had his goatee.
Yeah,
that was sick. There you go.
And that was Shaylee, me.
There you go. There's the me board.
Yeah, the one on the left is the one I won the Slater brothers on.
And you shaped those boards, right? Weren't those yours?
Yeah. I kept that one too. I got that one, the one that I won the OP on. I got my board from the 80 World Titles. And that one, I think it said I was from like Hurricane Joaquin.
Oh, wow. Oh, here we go. Profile.
And
now this is an epic shot. This is like a legendary shot right here in Hawaii.
Yeah, that was East Coast crew. That would probably, I don't know when that would have been.
Like 85, I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this was 85 if I remember right. Because I remember Kelly going. That was his first year in Hawaii. And I remember because he came here and won the Hearts birthday bash. He won the super heat and he won a trip to Hawaii. And that was the first year he went. And then that same year, Surfing Magazine, I think it was Surfing Magazine, came out with this picture. And they did a really cool article on all you guys out there, man. It was insane. Oh, there we go. Bam.
Yeah, I don't know when that is either.
Yeah, I was trying to make out the jersey, but I can't make it out. Bad eyes.
It might have been from the Slater brothers contest when Hurricane Sandy had passed.
The waves are going off. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Early days.
That's the board.
So that's the same board you have at your surf school?
Yeah, I still got that board.
That's so sick, man.
Actually, I loaned it to one of the kids that was surfing so tail heavy that the tail's super thick on it. So I loaned it to him and let him ride it because it's still in decent condition.
There you go. That's a good one. Alita. Oh yeah, I remember the Alita days.
Yeah.
Nope. We had
movable sleeves.
Yeah. Well, that one's a cool looking one. When we were surfing for Hickson's, they carried Alita and they did a Hickson surf team Alita suit, and we looked like Captain America, man. We were red, white, and blue, red arm, blue arm. It was pretty cool.
Hey, it was all about the bright colors back then, right?
Yeah, man. Yep. Yeah, we've been.
Okay, so I'm just jumping in here because Mez sent me a cheat sheet for this. He said this picture was at the 86 World Contest in England with Bruce Walker at far left, and Todd, you are the one at the far right. Jason, you were right. Lisa Anderson, Kelly Slater, Janice Aragon, among others in the shot.
Wow.
All right, that makes sense.
That's incredible. So that's the U.S. team right there, basically, is what that is.
Yeah.
Oh, and who's that wearing is that Crystal Rover wearing the Quiet Flight sweatpants?
I'm not sure.
Looks like a girl's got on some Quiet Flight sweatpants, but I can't tell if that's her or not. That's an awesome pick, man. Very cool. Well, take us through a tour of your establishment, man. I'm excited to see it. Let's check it out.
All right. Let me see how I can do this here.
It was Lauren's idea.
Yeah, this is like coming in the back door to our classroom. I don't know if you see, Phil Coupenpay from Endless Summer Tattoo came in and did some murals for us. And then he made this sign so that we can go over etiquette and who has right of way and everything. And then we have a game room back here so that if we get ran in by lightning, we got foosball tables, some other stuff. And then this whole back area is just for our surf camp. And then we come up front here and we got lockers for the people that are just coming in for lessons. And Phil did another mural. And then one of my friends had my Coke, Pepsi, and OP Pro jerseys.
Oh, that's sick.
Framed in. And if we come back around the front desk sign-in area, if Lauren wants to poke her head up, say hello.
There she is.
Behind the curtain.
Yeah. And then I saved a couple of my board Bushmans from my last Hawaii quiver. And we have them just hung on the wall there.
That's so cool.
This is basically it. School of Surf.
That is awesome.
We got some boards up here for lessons, and then I have 2 garages out back that we're able to put the boards down. And there's our little sign we put out front. And then we go back here, back in the back for teaching our lessons. We got a chalkboard that I can do diagrams on. We got the history of surfing board to teach the kids about surfing. And then I got a pull down map that I talk to the kids and show them about swell direction, what makes swells for different areas.
Very cool. So if anybody out there is, going to the Central Florida area and you're looking for something really cool for your kids to do, School of Surf, absolutely. Or Ron Jon's Surf Camp, is that what it's called? Ron Jon Surf Camp?
Ron Jon Surf School.
Very cool. Yeah, go give Lauren and Todd a call and get with you. Absolutely. That's amazing, man.
Yeah, definitely. Give us a call. We'll get you out in the water if you don't surf.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Or if you want to just get better, and we can do some coaching.
Absolutely.
So, it's nice talking to everybody.
Well, dude, I can't thank you enough, Todd, for giving us your time. We could go on all day talking about, talking story with you, man. You got so many stories and you've done so much, man. And, like I said, I was just so stoked to be a young kid coming up, watching you do your thing. And, like I said, I talked to you about it earlier, me and my buddies, man, if you were doing it, we were doing it, and it's, you're an awesome, I'm glad to call you my friend now, and just thank you again for always being so cool to me, man. And, thank you for coming on here and, talking to us all about, about your pro career, amateur career, your whole life story, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks for having me. It's nice. Everybody's one big surf family, really, and it's about getting out there and having fun. And, even if you can't make a pro career out of it, it's still a career of having fun, being out in the water and enjoying it.
Absolutely.
And that's the nice part. I've done it, but now I just do it for fun.
Yeah. And you're probably having more fun.
Yeah, exactly. And I love seeing the smiles on the kids. I've had kids that I've walked across the street that have never seen the ocean before, and to see them pop up and stand up and ride a wave or something like that, it's just, it's amazing.
Absolutely. It can change their life for the better, without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
Hi, guys. I just want to come in and say thank you, Todd, for joining us tonight. That was great.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, man.
And we also want to thank Mez and Dugan from Eastern Surf Magazine for providing us all those great pictures of you, Todd.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Mez.
No idea they had.
Thanks, Tom.
There's Lauren in the background.
I wouldn't have been able to send you guys that many good photos.
They're great. They have so many pictures of everybody. It's amazing. So Todd, we're going to take you off the screen while Jason and I make a couple ESA announcements, but go ahead and view the comments that are on the right side of the screen before we exit out. Don't leave yet.
All right.
All right. Another great one, Jason. Great job.
Thank you. That was awesome, man. Todd's a great guy. That was incredible.
Yeah, he's definitely a legend along the East Coast and the world.
Yeah.
One thing we want to let everybody know is that the ESA has decided to cancel all 3 of its regional events this season for the 2020 season. And an email went out, press release was posted, Eastern Surf Magazine, Mez just posted something on their website as well. But what we're doing now is we're planning for an epic Easterns to take place at Jeanette's Pier in September. So we're going to expand it. We're going to have more invitations for people to attend, and we're just going to look forward to September. And we know this is difficult for a lot of people. Everyone was looking forward to it. But unfortunately, with the timing and the uncertainty of phasing and when people can open and when sporting events can start to occur, we just needed to make the call. And now we're planning ahead. So we're really upset, but we appreciate all the support from you guys. And if you haven't seen it yet, be sure to check your email boxes for what to do with your registration entry fees if you've already registered for your regionals. And then lastly, we want to let you know that next Thursday, we're going to we have Wes Lane with us, Talking Story with Jason Motes. So be sure to tune in next Thursday at 7 p.m. And also register for our longboarding judging clinic that's going to be on Monday evening at 7 p.m. for ESA members only. So still have a lot of online content, and we're excited to go through May with you guys online if we can't see you in person. So with that being said, we're going to exit out of here, and we hope you all have a wonderful weekend.
Have a good one, guys.